viewers. That's cool. You guys are early. Where's the copy link button? I'll actually properly get started in a minute. I feel like I should actually... Oops. Yeah, I can't freeze that window. I feel like I should actually pay attention to what the stream looks like, since I have that camera thing on. Sort of. I can shrink OBS, that's cool. Alright, well, no time to get started like the present. Greetings! I am doing what nobody should ever do and try to use GameMaker 2.3 for production game on the second day that it's out. I went and cleaned up some of the stuff that I was in the process of cleaning up yesterday. Deleted like 1,000 lines of code, as one does, and I'm thinking about game data today, because I like game data. This is probably going to be a lot easier said than done. I have apparently not pushed like 11 commits out to GitHub yet. I feel like it's better to be safe than sorry and to just like spam branches right now. Just in case anything goes horribly wrong. So I'll jump on a new branch. And I don't think I need that. I'll deal with that later. The 3DS that I'm using as a webcam is about to fall off the thing that it is perched on. I should probably go back to the days of like 2012 and tape it down to the surface so that it doesn't fall off. Okay, whatever. Game data. At the current moment, all of like item and skill and whatever definitions are stored as objects, deactivated objects, admittedly, so they don't take up too much processing overhead, but they do. They are more heavy than they need to be. They all inherit from this thing, which I also called struct back from like 2018 GameMaker, before this was even a thought. And they really don't need to. Let's see. I can just create folders at will now, which is pretty cool. Where's folder? Can I not create a folder? How do you create new folders? Seems like a bit of an oversight. Oh, create group. Hello. So that can be data. I don't know how I want to organize this into files yet. I'm down to 1,021 script files from 1,700-ish when I started doing this, I think. It's progress. I'll just call it data for now. All right, so what do I want to... How many script files? Well, when I created a new one, it said 1,021, and I want to say when I first imported this yesterday, it was like 1,690, 1,700 or something around there. Let me take my shoes off. That's annoying. Name, summary, which is not necessarily essential. Flags, ID, internal name. What's index for? I can't remember what index is for. I think index I don't need. Universal ID. Okay, I'll pass in the universal ID also. While I'm here, and this might be getting ahead of myself a little bit, but data. I probably want to fold in the universal ID scripts into this as well. All right, so I was talking with Sebastian Niger, also known as Seabass, about static stuff yesterday, and the way that GameMaker has apparently decided to do it is not quite the same as the way other languages decide to do it. Static things. In GameMaker, they just literally the function definition is created once the first time you instantiate an instance of a struct instead of a new one for every single time. So you do need to have you do need to have an instance of a struct before you can use a static thing, but for that purpose they do work. But I don't know if I actually want to use them like that, because that's kind of annoying. I've also been informed that that anything that runs outside of a function definition in a script file is it's basically GML pragma once. It's run in the global scope when the game starts and never again. Static is the opposite of what it is normally. Static is like GameMaker is kind of sort of not really what it's supposed to be. Classic. Like the way that instants aren't really what they're... Sorry, the way objects aren't really what they are in other programming languages in GML, it's kind of the same thing with static. That makes it sound really lame. I'm thinking I won't be bothering with it, though. So... getting back to these... Do I need this anywhere? Is this called? I don't think this is actually called anywhere. Oh, it is. I don't know why. I don't think they need to be, but I won't worry about that right now. No. Everything else is screaming case. I will make this screaming case as well. I wanted to use static functions and stuff like namespaces yesterday, but the way that you would go about doing that is really kind of a mess, so I decided against it. Okay, I will clean this up first. This, for those who I need to explain this to, is my answer to instance IDs. They're not true global universal identifiers because those refer to universal IDs in a specific format, but they're close enough. And I don't really care what Microsoft has to say about that. Why is this in the range of, well, of that? That doesn't feel correct. Also, the begin end joke has officially stopped being funny, so I will be converting those back to curly braces as needed. Why does it start at 100? I forget why I did it like that. Okay, who cares? I think they're strings now, though. I might want to update that. They're strings. Followed by, okay, the number in hex. I am updating my game, yes. It's very exciting. At least I think so. I can't guarantee that anyone else will think so, but I hope other people think so. You were here yesterday, right, Ryangu? When I was doing this? I have a oppressively bad memory for names. Create, get enum, remove, set enum. I can get rid of those now. Let me just run this. 2.5Ds? Something like that? I'm completely blanking on what I was going to say. It's the like, people have referred to it as a Paper Mario-esque. Why are those warnings erupting out of nowhere? I need to look into that. I forgot to look into that last night. This one. Alright, anyway, it runs, which is what I wanted to verify. Paper Mario. I mean, it's not a Paper Mario game, but that's what people have decided to compare the graphics to on occasion. I guess because of the sprites and the very planar 3D objects. It's a... I feel like it's a good middle ground for the sort of 3D that GameMaker is able to do. It's not super complicated, and it doesn't need to be. It doesn't, like, encroach on, like, we are trying to do more than we are capable of doing, or that sort of thing. Closer to Pokemon on Nintendo DS, something like that. You'd think I would know that, considering the vast amounts of Pokemon I have played in my life, but the people I've shown it to have decided to compare it to Paper Mario, so that's where it tends to go. What am I working on? I am working on game data. Okay, this could be a problem. How do structs refer to themselves? I believe Seabass was messing with this yesterday, and he reported that you can just use the self keyword. I don't know if there is a better way to do that. Let me do some testing. Did you see the 3D platform? Yes, PR has been working on that for quite a while, in GameMaker 1.4, GameMaker Studio 1.4 no less. And it's impressive. There's a lot of people doing stuff with 3D in GameMaker, but there's not a lot of people who are actually, like, in the process of finishing a game. What did I want to do? I was testing, like, IDs of lightweight object structs. And I want to see what the self and ID variables give me when I instantiate one, because I will need to have a way to refer to them. God, going from functional programming to object-oriented is weird. I can't just do that? It doesn't like this? You can't just... Am I making a game? That's what I try to tell myself. What's this in the like I've had my elbows sitting on those for all afternoon and it's kind of getting in the way. So ID does not exist. Okay, I should perhaps have decided to try catch that. ID is not a variable that structs recognize. What about self? I do need a way to I know if you stringify a lightweight object, you get basically almost JSON. I don't know if they have a way to refer to them yet, if I could, a way to just slap them in a database. Well, okay, I know you can. I know you can put them in lists and stuff, but I don't know if they can put themselves in a list. I might have to leave this as functional programming. No, go away. At least for a little while. I suppose... Alright. Where did I... Okay, I have two data folders now and it's confusing me. Actually, you know, I can do regular code folding now. That might be better because then I'll still be able to see the function names when I need them. It's kind of amusing. I may now be going back in the direction of using global variables all over the place besides these. Because of how much easier it is to run stuff in global scope now. Actually, I will want to grab both of those, huh? Yeah, it's just that before they were instance IDs, there were instance IDs, there were regular instances. Now I would like to know how one of these thingies can put itself in a list. I've done like yes list, add, list, new, whatever. I've done this and it's worked. I just don't know how to make them do it themselves. I hope this isn't referred to in any great number of places. Okay, so that is just these functions. Okay, I organized this good for once. It's not something that I get to say that often. The other couple would be this. All right. What is this called? Encapsulation? I know my computer science words. It looks like that is all of them. Okay. I could probably do without the do while here, huh? I don't care. That's not a big deal. New thing. Did I type that somewhere? Was that just the example? Did I type that somewhere? Thing isn't anything. I'm working with data now. All right, there we go. It will register itself in the map, in the database map. Yeah, words. Do I have to define these at the top? I will anyway because it feels better. We'll add some extra question marks there because I'm not sure. Oh, you mean in general? It will return a reference. I don't know exactly what the reference looks like because if you try and cast it to a string, it will turn into JSON-ish. But it returns a reference to the object instance. Again, the specifics I'm not entirely sure of, but it seems to be working so far. Summary flags and internal name are the other relevant variables that all of these things contain. Nope. Something on my finger, that's cool. The flags, like the flag options, are something that only a couple pieces of data use. I don't know if I want to make that part of the constructor or not. Alright, well, now is as good a time as any, I suppose. I should probably drag that in there just so that it's easier to find so I don't have to keep bouncing back and forth between folders. Internal name is just on the rare occasion that you need to refer to something by its actual string name instead of an ID. So I guess I will fold those in next. This is totally not an idea I nicked from Pokemon Essentials. That's not a universal ID, right? That is a... Alright, is this used anywhere? Can I save myself confusion and just delete it? I can just delete it. That is not needed. I have found out, by the way. I'll get rid of the notes because I think I've figured out how my own code works by now. One of the nicer things you can do with these named variables without having to deal with argument 0, argument 1, if you call a function and you don't pass it an argument, it's just the variable has the value of undefined. So you can do function overloading is much, much nicer now. It is more akin to JavaScript where you would just check undefined. Check if an argument equals undefined before trying to use it. And that's quite nice. With that said, it's probably a good idea to like throw an error in each function you create, throw an error if an argument is undefined, and it shouldn't be, but variadic, you can still do like you can still do this. I'm just trying not to when I can get away with it. There's a couple places like my string formatter where I will still use the argument array, but I'd prefer not to. I'd much prefer to have named arguments when possible. I don't know if there's a way around it. I have yet to find a way around it. I would not be surprised if there is. Let's see. Let's just make sure that this works. What is this? Where did the scratch on my finger even come from? I just noticed that now. I don't know if you can see me playing with my finger. Is it? Okay, the kind of 3DS camera thing is still working. That's good. Another legitimate question I'm asking is how much easier, how much, once I'm finished cleaning this out, there's going to be a lot less code in it. Ideally, I've already kicked out like 1,000 lines and I haven't even gotten started. I wonder how much faster Yo-Yo compiler compilation is going to be after this, when there's only a few source code files and they all have multiple function definitions in them instead of one per file. Those still work. So now that... Okay, I'm going to be like annoying about this and undo that commit so that it includes deleting the empty files. Proto IDs are used in very specific instances of this, and ref IDs are for like objects in the map, like NPCs and trees and bushes and stuff. I may deal with those later. Is this used anywhere? This is an excellent... Okay, fine. This is an excellent excuse to go through and look for code that is no longer in use. What is this? Okay, that literally just reads out the first 6 bytes as a string. I will hard code that with no regrets. It was buffer, right? Not one of the intermediates, yes. Alright, why this was its own script to begin with, I don't know. But it is not any longer. And... quack. It is not any longer. And that should do the exact same thing, and I can not have that file floating around and doing absolutely nothing. My theory about the Yo-Yo compiler, one of the reasons it takes so long, I'm suspecting it's doing a lot of redundant work. I believe it includes the Yo-Yo header in every single file it compiles, which in my case would be 1,700-ish script files and who knows how many like object events. And it really shouldn't need to, and I'm hoping that when I'm down to like a couple hundred script files and way fewer object events, that it doesn't do that and it doesn't have to spend so much extra time recompiling the Yo-Yo header. That still loads, which is good. I like refactoring my load code because it means that if it doesn't work, I'll know instantly. Don't ask why that was even its own script in the first place. That's got its uses. I'll leave that alone. The sort of annoying thing about this is that I'm going to want... That's not what I wanted. I'm going to have to do this all at the same time. Because this isn't something I'm going to be able to refactor incrementally, since it's an inheritance hierarchy. I'm going to have to do it all at once because it's not going to work in the middle. So I'm probably going to spend a lot of this stream and realistically a lot of the next one just staring at code. Although if I can reduce the amount of code I need to stare at, as in cases such as these, that will help. Alright, you know what, I will deal with the... No, the reference IDs would be more suited to the game entity section. I'll do that another day. Right now, I'm just going to do this so that I can get rid of the reference ID related scripts. These are very much the same thing as before. They're just, instead of Instead of being a global game data, they refer to an entity that's in the taking up physical space in the game world. I missed one. Did I? Did I not miss one? Get, remove, set, generate. That should kind of be at the top, shouldn't it? Because alphabetical order. Okay. Much better than what I had before. Ref IDs are ref IDs strings also? It looks like they are. Okay. I can borrow this. I feel like I should be doing like triple equals because this is very similar to JavaScript, and my brain is halfway in JavaScript mode right now. Map and ID. Realistically, it should be in the other order, but I don't really feel like refactoring that right now. Data, map, and value. Wait. Okay, those comments were wrong. That looks like it's it for now. Again, totally not an idea stolen from a Bethesda's creation kit or anything, although I'm sure other game engines do this as well internally. Or if you're using a super low level language that would just be a pointer. That did not like it. Which one am I looking at? Oh, okay, I see. I forgot to rename all of those. That would happen. If I were to create an entity lightweight object, even if I don't plan on using it right now, that would cause a naming collision with the actual game object resources named entity, wouldn't it? Pretty sure it would. Yeah, again, I will deal with this later. Alright, it loads. That's another 4 scripts gone. I guess I'll put the proto URD things in here also. No reason not to. Long hair, yes. Long hair. I don't know how well you can see that. Long hair is cool. Okay, so that just apparently returns whether or not it was successful. I don't know if there was really a point to me doing that, but sure. Why not? That returns true regardless. Why? No point. Container UID. Once again, if this doesn't work on load, that means it doesn't work, and if it loads fine, that means it does. Yes, Ratchet, entity component systems. I was talking at like 1 in the morning on the GameMaker Discord with someone about that for extended periods of time. Error while compiling. I don't see any errors. Oh, here it is. An item with the same key has already been added. That is an asset compiler error. Is there a... Alright, is this used for one? No. I can get rid of that. Data is not really removed at any point. That one is once. It probably doesn't need to be. Oh, yes, thank you, I see. I can read, I swear. That's a bit of a cryptic message for that, though. When it says it's an asset compiler error, it makes it sound like there are 2 sprites with the same name or something. Or a sprite and a function error, something like that. Oh no, I just renamed it from container to data because that's a little bit more clear, and I probably forgot to remove one of them. Or I typed it in after, and then something like that. Alright, anyway, it works. Woohoo! Alright, how much procrastination of actually doing game data stuff can I do now? I got rid of like 15-20 scripts, that's helpful. Wasn't it just, hang on, let me go back to... Which one was it? Set? Okay, it was... Okay, yes, you are correct. It's a good thing Raster understands my code better than I do. These are different names than what they were before, but I'm going to go with that. Yeah. The proto ones are just like in cases of objects, data objects or data whatever you want to call them, that have a series of sub objects. Like I've grouped meshes together, so like you can have a base tree that has a different array of like subtrees that has a different meaning in computer science, but have trees with different looks. I don't know if there are any examples here. I don't know if I've actually put any in the game, but like the rocks are all one object with a series of submeshes, and each of the submeshes has its own ID, so that things can refer to it. Anyway. For the sake of keeping my commit history relatively clean, how long has this been going? 40 minutes and I haven't actually done what I said I was going to do yet? Good job, me. So I guess I might as well get started. Workspaces are a tiny bit unwieldy. Okay, inheritance is I think what I need though. I need to start looking at inheritance. I think you do this like C++ style. No, those are the old language features. I think you do the C++ style. I think you need to do like that. I'm not sure though. There should be an example with inheritance in here somewhere. Pretty sure I saw one. Okay, here we go. Yeah, it's literally that, except in the opposite order. Oh, there is a name collision already with an actual object. Wonderful. I'll deal with that later. Other properties of audio, though. What is the, I know these things have destructors. Add. Okay, I won't worry about that now. All right, I do want to know though. How do you do destructors? I remember seeing it somewhere. Delete. That is a keyword. It does not say how you would. Oh god. It's already on pirate sites. Cool. Is this? It's the blog post, right? No, that was last year. Okay, this might have been the one I saw. Oh wait, that's 2.2.3. I can read. All right, you know what? It's nice to give Google some competition, but there are a lot of piracy results on Ecosia sometimes. I'm also not quite sure how destructor maps to a keygen or anything, but was this the one? No. Okay, well, For the time being, I don't foresee this being destroyed at any point. So that's maybe okay. Did I miss one? Sample rate. Sample rate, loop point start, loop point end. Okay. I can just try catch this whole thing, right? That ought to be good. Now, if there's anything that goes wrong at all, whether that be an fmod or an... should probably be -1. Whether that be an fmod or an anything else. Trying to load the file itself or whatever. It'll just complain and not do anything. Okay. I could probably also move the audio playing code to here, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. There are not quite as many people at the stream today as there were before, and that is okay, because this is a lot less exciting than some of the other things. Meshes are exciting. These are 3D objects. I would still like to know how those work, though. Man, just imagine I can get rid of all these if exists checks now. Now that try catch is here, I can just try catch the whole thing. Or at least, actually, that would amount to about the same thing, wouldn't it? That might be like 6 of one, half dozen of the other. What did I call it? Alright, I can get rid of the invent inherited stuff too. That's pretty cool. Don't know if deletable is used anymore. I'll leave that in for now. This is where the proto IDs come into play. Do I want to go all out object oriented and move the bounds to their own like bounds object? 3D bounds. I kind of do. Later. I'll leave a note for myself. The union can go though because that's a duplicate definition now. Let's see, what else do I need? Okay, a lot of them I'm gonna need to, or I'm gonna want to load manually though. Alright, this... Come on, GameMaker. No, there's not even a point to that because it's just gonna move the mess from one place to another. Because you shouldn't ever buffer read in a function in a function argument because then bad things happen. Or you shouldn't do it more than once anyway, because it depends on the order in which the arguments are processed. Alright, so that is a simple constructor. That is not anything too exciting. I am now adding more lines of code and not deleting. Ugh. Is there anything... Oh, right. Okay, these do have... Not really. Master texture flags. Okay, so, okay, that does have a reason to inherit from image. Alright, I guess I'll do that. This is nice and straightforward, huh? Event inherited is no longer needed now. That is nice. How much of this is, a lot of this can be parameterized, right? Parameterized. That's a fun word to say. Okay, so those are all... Again, putting those in a parameter list would just move the mesh from one place to another, but I'm okay with that. In this case, I think. More so than in the case of meshes. I think the rest are... I think... Hey. XY width height. Those are also relevant. U, V, W, and H. I think those are for texture coordinates. I think those are redundant with those, but I'll leave them there anyway. The vertex buffers may or may not get assigned later, depending on the type of image in question. So I'll leave them alone. For now. Tile sets. Tile sets, on the other hand. Oh, this must look like a bunch of nonsense to anyone who hasn't been dealing with this. Who hasn't been dealing with my code specifically. These are loaded. Name, flags, picture. Okay. This isn't too garbage yet. So it's got all those, and oh, why could I have not made this consistent with itself way back when? That's an actual DS grid, right? Okay. So since these are a specific kind of image, I make some assumptions. That is not used anywhere, and I can get rid of it. I make some assumptions about the oh wait, is it? Oh, that was copied in from mesh. In the sort of dumb constructor, it's just got the basic stuff, grid flags, and the sprite. Basic stuff, grid flags, and the sprite. So after this, like there's no like texture batching information or anything on here, or width height animation anything, which is helpful. Can I move these out to somewhere else so that they're not in the way? Brilliant. Let's move this up to the top because it's important and I want to see it. Okay. In tileset create, that's probably not the best software engineering practice ever, but I'll deal with it. And then picture equals the sprite. Did I like... Oh, that's okay. Some default parameters. And this is getting to the point where it should probably be on another line because it's a mess. Master equals tileset create master of you know, this isn't even... This is another thing that's not called from anywhere. And it probably doesn't need to be, because once the game is loaded, that's it. So I will... I'll just have it do it here instead. Yeah. Let's see, what can I get rid of? Anything prefixed with tileset dot. Or in this case, that. I think that's all I need. I can cut that one down a lot. It's pretty nice. The warning is a bit ominous, but you know what? That can take care of itself. Everything else, though, master and texture, that information is not going anywhere. All right. something is inevitably going to go wrong later when I actually run this, but again, that's not going to happen for a little while, so I'll deal with the problems as they come up at that point. I may do that off stream because it's probably not going to be that interesting. I say as if this is. Instantiated events. Those are fun. These are, I believe, like the event graph things. Oh no, these are event pages. Okay, this is a lot. That might be best at home. And I don't know if that really should extend the regular data. I don't know if it uses any of it. I'll see if I can get away with just making that part of data. I mean entity. I really should just call them that. That would make it easier to keep track of and remember what it's referring to. Let's capitalize that because we can. There's a lot of green variables here. What's it enabled for? Is that one that's global? No, that is for something specific somewhere. I don't know why I thought that was something I need to leave a comment about. Can I at least put all these enum definitions together? I feel like I should have some sort of formalized order that I create these source files in. Alright, that is another useless comment. Can I collapse the enum definitions? No. Just functions, apparently. Functions if, I think, and like control flow and try catch, I think, are the ones that I can use. Okay, this actually needs a destructor. Because this is something that will be destructed. And very funny pass off. This is something that actually will be destroyed when the player changes maps. And this would be a memory leak. That's the only one, though. Okay. Let's see what goes into it when I load that. The search bar is hidden up by the sort of junky webcam thing. Okay, so they're only instantiated with a name. There we go. There we go, syntax highlighting. This will do it for now. And I can fold that up a bit. No, really? Are you really not gonna... There we go. Why did I call them instantiated events in the first place? That's not a helpful name. Event nodes. That's a simple one. For once, all it does is take an array of types, which is probably best used as its own lightweight object now, of sorts. I will track down where that's going soonish. You know what I can do? Is not fail at tabs again, but I can split the window. Like that. Alright, you know what, the asset browser can go away completely because it's kind of in the way. There's the generic stuff, yeah. The common stuff in the constructor. And types. Types. That's going to be an interesting one. That is really... That's a bit silly, but... I have a feeling this is going to cause me issues when I actually run the game using it. I don't know if it's actually needed for the game or just there for the editor's benefit. It may be there. Okay, I think I know what it's for. Well, whatever. I think I mistyped all of those parameters at one point in time. Let's just see if it's actually used anywhere, though. I don't imagine this is going to be a super helpful search. This is... These are only used for loading the events. Okay, so they're really an intermediary. Which I can get away with deleting when I'm done. Probably. Is, Is that actually being added to? Okay, that is actually being added to. Okay. I think that's it for now. How many things have I done right here in this sitting? Quite a few. Nothing major, nothing exciting, but it's been a couple commits. It feels like progress. Data is a fun one. I'll get rid of that for now. This was pretty safely the one of the more difficult things to do the first time around, and it's undoubtedly going to be interesting when I update it here. I guess I'll split the window again. That's going to be fun. Is it actually loaded here? Oh, yes, it is. Data and names do anything different? No, they don't. Okay, you know what? That's very silly. There's more of a difference in the editor, which I am not dealing with right now, currently. Updating that's going to be a pain. Alright, why is the scroll bar kind of breaking? Alright, that should work for now. At least make things easier to read. Properties. Properties is going to be interesting. Is it worth trying to genericize that now? Probably not, right? Oh, you know what? I know. The scroll bar is laggy. Why is the scroll bar so laggy? Oh, hang on. That's not okay. That doesn't extend data. That's just a. That doesn't extend anything. Does it? I'm pretty sure it doesn't. That's a mess. How many search results is that? That's got to be a couple hundred. 154. Whereas if I whole name only, it is 18. Most of those being in load scripts. Where is that even used? So I will leave that as an array for now. That may get simplified out on its own later. Okay, that's gonna stay as an array. Instances is a bit of its instances are gonna be its own thing defined later. There doesn't need to be a 0 in there. That's slightly pointless. More than slightly pointless. Alright, I was hoping I was going to be able to deal with more with this now, but it doesn't look like it. Where were we? Movement roots. These are something I wanted to... This is where the RPG Maker comes out. This is where I wanted to... Something I've wanted to make a data type for a while, but haven't yet. There are no like global movement actions. You can't just define a single movement for like walk in a circle for an NPC or anything, but would this be classified under event? Kind of. I will classify this under event. Alright, the IDE is starting to lag now. Maybe I've got a few too many things open. I can probably close Premiere at the very least. The 3DS viewer is taking up a bit of computer resource. Chromium as well. If I pause my own stream, that would probably help. Not even. Alright, I guess streaming is just a rather computer-intensive thing. Can I close some of these? Alright, I'm going to save those for later. Closing some of those might help. I see I have received YouTube notifications. Also, I have a number of MagFest talks open. I probably don't need these right now. Probably a waste of computer resources. Alright, that helps. Maybe GameMaker will behave better now. What was this? A movement root? It's still lagging. Alright, the steps are another thing that could be lightweight objected later, but... These are literally just, move roots from RPG Maker. which are partially implemented. With a few extra bells and whistles, admittedly. That is still being slow. Can I close old GameMaker? I probably don't need all of these, right? I'll leave the old version of the project open just in case, and I'll leave the editor up in case I want to mess with some game data. That's okay for now. Apparently I did not commit that last one. Oh well. God, there's so much. Okay. Every single type of game data. Ooh. This is a... Okay. These are elemental types, which I should probably call them that, so it's less confusing. Ignore comments, please. Oh, that is a holdover from when I was doing Pokemon stuff. I don't need that. Yeah, that's not read from anywhere. That's probably some animation things. Color isn't used either. And this is a matrix that will... Oh! Is it... Okay. Has this been eliminated entirely? This has not been eliminated entirely. This doesn't make much sense. This doesn't do anything. Parsing elements. It is used. Alright, speaking of jumping into the editor, do I have a... Oh, you know what? Okay, I remember now. I won't bother doing that. The way I have elemental types implemented here don't actually have them determining matchup against any other types. It's based on the enemy's specific resistances and weaknesses and stuff. But that's game data. That is a specific kind of game data. And I should probably call it element or something. For now, it might as well be just an enumerated constant. Come on, GameMaker, stop lagging. I'm gonna prefix... I'm gonna start prefixing game data by the name of the config that it's gonna be used in. Alright, that doesn't do anything special yet. Makes things easy. I did call that element, right? I did call that element. Next, full-on events have one. They have one property. Okay. I really should call this something else. It's going to be event node property. Shut up, phone. Nodes is a DS list, which gets added to. I could pass it like a completed DS list of nodes, but I won't. I'll probably say like, all right, I'm gonna, so that I can start telling things apart because we're getting into project or proper object orientedness, I'm going to start giving methods capital names, C# style. What is it, Nintendo 3DS? I could have sworn I saw it like flash like it was about to shut off or something, and I should probably keep an eye on that battery light because it is not plugged in right now. I'll notice if it starts flashing red. That's going to be an event node for now. Do they even have to be ordered? Can this be a DS map? Would that be easier? Do I even need... I don't even know if that's relevant to the game or just the editor for organization purposes, because everything's linked to everything else by UID, and it's not going to change once the game is loaded. I should probably call that like event graphs or something. Event node. This is the fun one. This has more information in it than the events themselves. Which isn't true, but... it's going to want to know... Hello, letters, reading. Wow, Jinxie, hello, greetings. Good afternoon, I think. It's 2:30, it's the afternoon, or evening, or night, or morning, or wherever you happen to be right now. That is an event node. Is that it, besides the destroy event, which I still need to look up the destructors for? That'll be good for now. Animations. Animation information. It's a fun thing to say fast. I'm gonna rename this so that it looks like the rest of them, with the underscore in the middle. Okay. I think that might be a good idea to give this the event treatment. You came from Relic Castle. Oh, cool. You did some homework. That is like a trail of like 4 completely separate breadcrumbs that you followed there. Interesting. Good to see you either way. This is a very long warning comment here. Do I want to try and keep all my comments 80-ish characters long? Not really, but also yes. Those 4 lines are the exact same. These are all 82 characters. Okay, the luck runs out there. That's funny, kind of. To me and nobody else. That's good enough. I don't know what I posted on Relic Castle besides this project here and now that had a GitHub link in it. I assume it was something related to this, like game data, editors, and GameMaker Studio. It's definitely possible. The internet is a wondrous place, for better or for worse. Anyway. Yes, DDD. That's still what it is called, sort of. I don't know if stream quality is good enough to be able to read this. It says DDD at the top editor. Because I name my stuff well. That was supposed to be like a threat to myself or something. I'm not entirely sure. It may not be super useful to have loops as a parameter of the animation itself, but that might be something that is more useful when you are invoking it. Artificial Legacy, found your way here by looking up GMS 2.3. Oh, you still don't have beta access? Sorry. It's really cool. Hopefully they will get around to letting more people in soon. You could not see the title of the white text at the top of the screen. Yeah, that's... I can zoom in on code and stuff. I guess I could bring out the Windows screen magnifier. Would that mess with the stream? That might mess with the stream. I don't know if I want to do that. Does it build? Oh my god. I don't know what you guys are seeing right now, but that was completely messed up for me, and I will not be doing anything with the screen magnifier while I'm trying to record. The editor does. The game did. Right now, it's got some like naming conflicts in it because I am refactoring a stupidly large amount of code at once, so it will not work, but there are working versions of it that I have. I am currently working on 2 things with it. One with someone else on the Relic Castle forums, although he's not as active anymore, and one with another friend. So that's fun. I should probably like update that thread again because I haven't touched that since like October. This is what it looks like now. It's definitely straight away from Pokemon. Lighting, why not? It's definitely strayed away from Pokemon because I also would like to do other creative things, but it is definitely still alive and well. And some other things. There's still a lot of influence from RPG Maker in here. Do I have a Discord? Yes. I don't want to just say it out loud in a public stream, but if you want to track me down, check the Relic Castle Discord. I can be found in there. What was I doing? So when the animation is loaded, it is... Okay, all of this is just... All of that is just assigned. Okay, cool. Before the days of proper constructors, that had to be a little messier, but... Let's see. I'm gonna want to do the same for animation layers and keyframes, right? That is very much the same. Let's give this a more helpful name. And that's gonna lag things a little bit. Thank you. Thank you, GameMaker. That is one of the new IDE bugs that has been introduced. Or features. You could probably sell it as, like, it's not a bug, it's a feature. It forces you to take a moment and slow down, but that's a bug. Okay. Animation layer. That does not actually inherit from struct up here. Keyframes is a list, sort of. Okay, I will check when I finish this. I do not have it open currently because that would be distractions at the nose, but I will indeed check. Keyframes. Okay, that's an array, which means... Actually, no, I don't want to do it like that anymore. I will change that to a list. GameMaker, thank you. And then I'll just say, like, add keyframe later or something. Oops. Oh, nice. That is a special variable for presumably sequences. Would I prefer them to be a priority queue? I don't remember. Alright, hopefully Screaming Case will remind me to deal with that later. There are the base values. Was this a reference to something? That was probably a reference to something. In-game stuff is the entity attached to the animation layer. I could probably do away with the underscores and prefix everything with self, right? I might do that later. That sounds like even more of a chore than this is. I'll mess around with that later. The graphic type. Mess. Not all of this has actually been implemented yet. I've been slowly chipping away at doing animations as the need arises. I'm not sure how much of this could be folded into actual sequences now that GameMaker has given us those two, but we shall see later. That is an animation layer. Alright, this is going to need to be a DS list also. Testing this is going to be fun. Should probably commit this, right? Ooh, there have been several things I've added without committing. I need to get on that. Oh no, that was just renamed. Never mind. Excellent. Keyframes. Does this actually have a destroy event? That doesn't need a destroy event. Collision and controls look very faithful to the DS graphics style. Thanks? That was definitely... I think I said earlier that wasn't really what I had in mind. I don't know what I was talking about a half hour ago. That's definitely what I did have in mind, since this started out as a different take on fan games. I'm glad that it's communicating that, though. There is no need for this destroy event. I can get rid of that. I've made several attempts at doing Pokemon fan games in GameMaker before, and a lot of them haven't gone super well. Now that I'm more used to software engineering and that sort of thing, it's gotten a bit easier. Although at the same time, that's encouraged me to do dumber and dumber things. That can belong outside here just so that it's not in the way. Hang on, I'm writing stuff out when I could just be copying and pasting, which is like the opposite of what you should do. Much better. Put the other ones first. Actually, you know what? I can steal this also. Each animation layer has a set of base parameters, and then each keyframe can override those if it wants. It does the job. Oh, I also said it that you can... Oh, that's Lua. I was gonna say, can you invoke an event in the middle of an animation? That would be an unusual degree of foresight. It was... I did have it working to a degree earlier. I had a functional battle system for Pokemon about a year-ish ago, and then I decided that I wanted to do other... I wanted to make other kinds of games with this, so it's... I ripped out the battle system. I ripped out the battle system. I left the overworld rendering system and event system there, and it's spun off into its own thing. I like to think I wrote it in a semi-intelligent way that... if you wanted to turn this back into a Pokemon game, it wouldn't be too much effort, but that is not something that I am especially interested in doing. Let me... I will continue that sentence in a moment. Okay. Do I want to... Okay, fine. This will be optional parameters out the nose. How many are there? Alright, there's the transform, the color, and the alpha. I really should update that thread on Relic Castle again, though. I don't even know if it's still open, because those things do get archived after a while, but... It's fun to look at progress sometimes. Thank God for column select. Sometimes. Once in a while I will do something with it by accident and completely screw it up, but most of the times it is nice to have. No, stop, help. Alright, anyway, as I was saying, the code for this thing that I'm working on now is currently in a private repository, but the editor is not, which I guess you know because you found it. You can do whatever you want with it, just... like... within reason. I'm not creative enough to think of any stupid things that people might want to do with that, but you could do whatever you want with the editor. The format that the game data files are saved in is kind of a mess because I was documenting them and then kind of stopped. I should probably write like a formal spec on what is in those data files, because otherwise it would be a complete nightmare to do anything with. Alright, when I see your message on Discord, or the message that you probably sent me on Discord, I will remember to do that. Credited, I guess? I don't know how these things work. How do these things work? Probably? God, I'm incompetent. Okay. Last things. The animations just need to know where they are. The keyframes, rather. Okay. Fun stuff, software engineering. I guess these should all be optional. Right? Probably. Because who really wants to pass in like that many parameters to a single constructor? It might even make sense to maybe later I'll go and do this in a way that is actually less painful, that doesn't involve massive parameters, maybe just a like JSON structure with whatever ones you want, and it just won't even contain the rest. I'll have to think about that. You reverse engineered a lot of code from Sword and Shield. Oh, that's exciting. If you look at the way they're saved, obviously that is really small text. If you look at the way the data files are saved, it'll obviously just be reading it out in the reverse order, in the same order, sorry. For example, load. This one's pretty easy. Load global meta. It's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of integers, essentially. There's this player starting position X is a unsigned 16-bit value. 3 of them. Starting direction is unsigned 8-bit. Some default lighting information and that sort of thing. Did not mean to zoom all the way in there. I should put actual work into documenting it, though. Either way, go for it, though. That's always a fun time. Did I do anything? I can't remember if I did anything especially weird with like some of the things that refer to each other, like data types, are a little bit messy. And having them actually link to each other later, but that's a concern for another day. I assume you're a GameMaker Studio user, right? Because otherwise, I think you said you were like searching 2.3 stuff, or was that someone else? Anyway, I assume you're a GameMaker Studio user because you're here. The first 2 generations of Pokemon were absolutely not written in Java because they ran on a Game Boy, which was on like basic assembly. But okay. I think that's everything. But yeah, for the most part, this is not the right thing. For the most part, it's a simple matter of reading the data out in the same order that it goes in. I'm trying to think. I don't know if you're interested in the rendering code or anything. optimized-ish. It's not extremely well optimized. I think you probably want to ask who that source is coming from, because getting Java to run on a Game Boy is something that I don't think anybody wants to do ever. Like, this is basically a Super Nintendo in handheld form. Let's remember. What was I saying before that? Great. Now I'm thinking of like trying to run Java on an NES. You'll work it out. You sound like you've done this before though. What's next? Yeah, I'm not gonna exactly. I'm gonna need some more convincing than that, sir. That's a bit of a hard sell right there. I'm done with this one, right? Do I need to get rid of the enums because did I define these in 2 places now? I did define those in 2 places now. Items, more game data. Yeah, sure. Remind me later. I'm sure like people have been talking on and off about that supposed leak on Relic Castle for a while, or for not a while, but for a few days. I have not been on Discord much in the last like day and a half because of all this. I feel like some people there are gonna have some things to say though. I saw someone was discussing the sprites. That's all I saw because I haven't really been on Discord in the last recently. I can move this. Are these even used? I don't know if I use these anywhere. I don't think I use them anywhere. But they're nice to have. GameMaker, stop lagging. Items are a weird case of something that I tried to use in both games running on here, and I don't think that's actually a good idea. Someone did things on Twitter. I will remember to check that also. What do I want to... I'll leave the values alone. Okay, I'll do that thing again. Fake ECS. I should do this properly sometime. Okay. Is that used? Can I get rid of this, actually? That would make my life easier. Bothering? Hang on, wait, let me... Why did I do items in a stupid way? Alright, what are the item values for one? Because I feel like that's like the remains of about 3 different versions of trying to do item things, which are probably not relevant at the current point in time. Alright, come on. Is this... No, there's nothing that should be making this take abnormally long now. Unless this is... Oh, please tell me this is not because Windows is being a suck again. Sometimes it likes to block random programs from running, including the GameMaker runner. Snipping tool works. Please tell me this didn't just get stuck. That's fun. It was doing that yesterday too. Or 2 days ago or something. Okay, so I'm going to assume... Can I, like... Are there... Is it going to block random programs from launching again? Handbrake is fine. Why is GameMaker Runner one of the things that it doesn't like? Can I run it from an executable? That'll take a minute. Alright, getting back to the point while it's doing this. I'm not like... You're not bothering me. I'm just saying that's a pretty bold claim that you probably want to... That you probably want to scrutinize a little bit more than just someone on 4chan leaked a bunch of files. The last I saw of it, like, they weren't even... Nobody was even sure if it was a legitimate leak. If it was a legitimate leak, or if it was just somebody got bored enough to throw together and troll the internet with. I don't know if they've worked that bit out, but like saying that the entire source code for 2 entire generations of Pokemon was written in Java and transpiled to GBA assembly, that's a pretty bold claim that you probably want to see more than an afternoon's worth of evidence for. Where did it go? Let's see if it runs from here. Great, now I gotta go through this ordeal. Alright, so it runs from the executable, just not from the GameMaker runner. I don't know why Windows randomly blocks the GameMaker runner. I'm not gonna bother doing anything with this until it finishes, because it's gonna reboot the whole thing anyway. Is it going to reboot? Or do I have to do that manually also? Is it AVG that's blocking stuff? Oh my god. Help. I hate computers. No, the valve leaks are an entire fun other conversation to have. Okay, so is it AVG and not just Windows 10 being stupid? Can I take the nuclear option and turn this off, and will it magically work? I feel like I shouldn't have this screen up on stream. I forget how I disable this. Yes, stop. Thank you. Good grief, go away. Nobody cares. AVG, are you the core defense or the core annoyance? Because that's a bit of a distinction that I think this piece of software should make. Okay. I'm not going to deal with that right now. So I'm going to assume that this is just, like, not actually an array, because it doesn't seem to be used as an array. Can I open an old version of that? I don't feel like that. Okay. And if that causes any problems later, I'll deal with that later. I love dealing with stuff later. Yes, I would get rid of it in a heartbeat, except that having it on my computer is actually easier than convincing my dad that I need to not have an antivirus. But that's a conversation for another day. Did I have something in there twice? No. Okay. Yes, window. Oh, wait, did it? Wait, hey, no, stop. Why are you frozen? Okay. Using my 3DS as a webcam is my favorite stupid hack ever. Where were we? Yes, complaining about antivirus. Windows Defender is pretty good. It's honestly probably better than whatever nonsense I have installed right now, but try explaining that to the person who like thinks computers still run like Windows 95. Fun times. Anyway, like, I'm not gonna say I shouldn't have an antivirus, but I should probably have one that causes less collateral damage than this thing. Fun. I also don't do anything like extraordinarily dangerous on a day-to-day basis. My internet use. Why is that not syntax highlighting? Oh, that is the wrong constructor. That's why. GameMaker, you're freezing on me again. I was complaining about something and now I can't remember what it was. Well, an open source antivirus solution would be an interesting challenge, because then if someone wants to try and defeat it, the code for how it works is right there. The database for it may not be, but that's half the battle already for defeating it. I'd be fascinated to find out how it worked if someone did write an open source antivirus that was actually really good. I'm not gonna hold my breath over one though. Avast regularly blocks compiling programs. Oh my god, I hate that. AVG doesn't block it for the compilation, but when you try to run it, like it could be a cout bracket bracket hello world. AVG will block that and scan it, and occasionally sends it off to its virus fault for absolutely no reason. Like AVG, I wrote that, and it's like 5 lines of code. You don't have to be so suspicious. I've taken to compiling code for the most part in a folder on my computer that is just blacklisted from AVG looking at it. Or would that be whitelisted? I guess it would be whitelisted. But yeah, AVG, I just wanted to print out numbers in order from 1 to 10, and you were holding me up for a 30-second scan. uBlock Origin does the same thing? Or no, is that the ad blocker? Some websites have, or at least I don't use an ad blocker, but some websites have found ways of detecting it and saying, "Can you please not?" Which is amusing because it's kind of an arms race at that point. But yeah, Windows Defender, it's fairly good, and it's also completely non-intrusive because Windows actually knows what is valid or not, apparently. All right. What was I doing? I probably want to make a clone of this for duck items, which is the other game, and has different parameters, but that can wait for later. Now I'm suspicious of the camera freezing for no reason. It appears to not be, though. I feel like I should do something else. I've been doing this for, what, 2 hours now? I've been doing nothing but changing like, item definitions and stuff to use lightweight objects. Anti-ad block. That sounds like a weird double negative. Should quests be their own thing? I will not put quests in their own thing. I will put quests in here. Again, though, we're getting into the territory of, like, there's a bit of a difference between an operating system running on machine code and a website running HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. In terms of complexity and the amount of safeguards against that, though. I will give stages the list treatment. And that's all because those are in-game things. Okay. Screaming case. This is getting slightly tiresome. There are also quests, stages, and objectives. Come on, GameMaker. I'll go in order. My dog just slammed her face against the door. I don't know if you can hear that. GameMaker is starting to significantly lag. More so than before. That's fun. Screaming case. That's all right. Did I name that right, or did I did not name that right. Again, I thought something looked wrong. And quest objective. Again, totally not lifted from the creation engine philosophy on quest organization. That should be a stage. Okay, so that was wrong twice. Good? Probably. I should probably publish that branch right now. If I run the game now, this isn't gonna work because there are naming conflicts, but I wonder exactly what kind of error I'm going to get. I have been streaming for 2.5 hours, almost. This has been... Alright, well there is a missing parentheses somewhere. Although that could be related to the name. I would know if the IDE unlocks. Is that just a consequence of me doing like a million things on this computer at once, or is that because... is that an actual issue with the GameMaker IDE? It doesn't look like there are any mismatched parentheses. Yeah, that's a name problem. And that's generating like 4 different errors there, so don't do that. Enum comparisons has already been defined. Are they all? What is this? This is probably a sign that I've been looking at data for too long. Events. Okay, so I need to... Why did I not move them into here? Did I just control X a breakpoint? If I did, it didn't paste. Interesting. Where Where has it already been defined? I know I moved the animation one over. Okay, I'll get rid of that. Oh. Okay, that was to do with movement events instead of... Alright, let me organize this. This is all going in... here. And a number of them are... Which ones are already defined? Comparisons, conditions, autonomous types. Any more? Event triggers are cloned. And I said I would leave this here, at least for now. Or at least the duplicate enums are gone now. Okay. What does it store? I will... Okay, so it's just down to the usual errors. It is... everything? Is that a valid answer? The, For various reasons, my computer is blocking the GameMaker runner, so I can't actually run the game now, but it's, what was the one I had up before? A series of things, everything. There's different, where did I... Is it in here? Yeah, it's in here. So there's just chunks of different things. Map information, which in turn has some subsections for like metadata about the map and static geometry and all of the the entities in the map. There's images, audio. Because you can buffer copy anything into anything else, which I find wonderful, which allows me to put everything in as few files as possible. Events, event graphs. I know I sent you like the spec that I was thinking about a long time ago, like last year. It's evolved, and I still haven't updated that spreadsheet as I was telling Wojinxie. Some other things. It's not necessarily all in one data file anymore because that was causing source control to have a bad time. But that's about it. I should probably like stop this now and go stop staring at data for a little while because my brain is starting to turn to mush. But I don't want to. This is what I've been looking forward to for a year now. Alright, well, I'll be back with this tomorrow, I'm sure. I am going to... And this is a shame because people are actually joining right now. But my brain is complete mush. I'll do this again later. I will either tonight or tomorrow continue cleaning this up. I'll probably do I'll try and do some of the like busy work off stream so that actually interesting things can happen. But yeah, thanks for everyone who showed up. Wojinxie, I will attempt to remember to look at Discord. and some other things. And what else was there? Yeah, if you haven't applied for the GMS2 beta yet, go do that. There should be a link in the description of the stream. It works on a first come first serve basis. I don't know if they're gonna actually do anything for it over the weekend, but come Monday, hopefully, a couple batches of people will get in. Hopefully, we'll see. I have no idea how to end stream, so I'm gonna click this button and hope that is everything. Bye.